Alright everybody, hello. My name is Huffstutter. I'm from Glencoe and I'm in 9th grade and I am a beginning blacksmith. I figured it'd be pretty cool to show everyone how to forge a little leaf like this that you can keep on your keychain. So I'm just going to go over that today, and I think we'll probably start off by going over all the tools you need. So this is just about everything you need right here on this stump. So all these tools can probably be had more or less under $100. Estate sales are always a great place to go, and garage sales, and that's one of the main limiting factors for a lot of people getting into blacksmithing. So to start off, we'll go over personal protective equipment. That's very important so you don't hurt yourself. You want gloves are optional, but they're really good if you don't want to get burnt super bad a lot, or you're worried about holding the metal. Earplugs are great. These are absolutely required. They'll keep your hearing good for a long time. And then eye protection are also a requirement to keep scale and things from going in your eyes. Next, you're going to need to light your forge. So this is a pretty simple one, but you'll want a blowtorch or a lighter or anything. Just something to get the forge hot. And once the forge is hot, you need something to hit the metal with. This is a cheap 3-pound hammer. I paid, I think, $8 for it at Harbor Freight, and I cleaned it up a little bit, and it's served me very well. So you need a hammer. You could even use a claw hammer. Just about anything works. You also need an anvil. I'm lucky enough to have this section of railroad rail, but some people even just use a steel block like this. This is enough to hit steel on and move the metal. Next thing you need, if you're starting off with a piece of metal that has a little booger at the end that you need to cut off, you'll either need a saw to cut it, or you'll need a hot cut hardy, and I'll explain how that works. These can be hand forged, very easy project, but I'll set that over here for now. Other things you'll need, these are littler things. If you don't have tongs, you need something to get the metal out of the forge when it's actually done, and that is what we'll use this metal rod for, with a hook on the end. You might want something to wipe your anvil clean if you don't want to do it with your gloves or with your bare hand. I'm going to use this rag. We'll set that over here for now. This is very important, a little brush. This is a cheap barbecue brush that I found at Harbor Freight as well. This is great for getting scale off of your piece, and I'll explain more about that once we're at that stage. 2 pairs of pliers. You do need 2 so you can bend the little round on the end of the leaf. It will make more sense once we get there, I promise. Now, 2 more things actually that are very important. You need a little bench vise. Maybe you could rig something up with vice grips and clamp it to a table, but I have this out here. I'm very lucky to have it, so I'm going to use it. This little bench vise here, that's all you need, something to hold the steel. You also need a forge. Now, this is a beautiful forge. It's a Johnson Gas Appliance Company forge from, I'd say, the 70s, and that thing works amazingly. But over here, I have a little forge that I've made out of a piece of fire brick and a coffee can, and this will get more than hot enough to make a leaf. You might want it to be a little bigger, but that is very inexpensive and a great way to get started. So those are probably all the tools you'll need. Alright, so I got my glasses and hearing protection on, and the forge is hot. I am very lucky to have this thermometer. Move that for you. And you can see it's at about 1700 degrees, and that's hot enough to forge most things. If you want to forge well, it needs to be up 2300, 2500, pretty hot. But for our purposes, this is going to be just fine. And you'll see when I take this out of here, it'll be orange hot. Okay, that's really, really hot. So we're going to put our hot cut hardy in there. We're going to cut the end off of this piece of metal because it's all nasty. cleaner edge. That's just perfect. Okay, so now our metal's hot. Come over here so you can see. And what we're going to do is start making a point on here. So I'm going to bring it to the far side of the anvil and slide my hammer down like so. Do it on all four sides. Now, we've already lost a lot of heat because I'm talking, but if you hit it hard enough, long enough, it will taper down to a sharp point. Whew, that's burning my hand. Ouch. Okay, so, see how we have a point there, a four-sided point? That is going to be the tip of our leaf. So, the next step for us is to start to thin down the shoulders. And we'll come back to you next heat and show that then. So, the way I know the steel is hot, I look down in there and it appears to be a orange color, as you can see on the camera there. And once it's that glowing orange, then I know it's good to go. If you want a heat that will last longer, wait till it's a bright yellow. Trick is, once it's at that yellow, it can become too hot and melt. And if it melts, you can burn yourself really badly because slag will fly everywhere. So you got to be careful with that. All right, we're going to take a heat now. Okay, so we're going to start isolating out the shoulders. We're going to take it over to the far side of the anvil. Yep. I had a little mishit there, so that's okay. We're going to thin the metal down. So, and then we're going to do that on two sides of the steel. Only do it on two. So, I'm going to continue thinning this down. Make sure I have some nice, clean shoulders, like so. So one thing that's really nice to have on your anvil is a fairly round edge because it reduces the chance to have a cold shut, and your steel gets rounded off much nicer, which I find creates fairly nice shoulders. Now this isn't very clean. That's okay. We're going to take another heat and get this really clean. Now we're a little twisted there. That's okay for now. Once it's really hot and we thin this out more, we'll twist it and straighten it, but we're not going to worry about that just yet. Okay, so our steel's in the fire. It's getting hot again. And the next step we're going to do before we start forging the next pair of shoulders is we're going to take it out of there and straighten that twist. If you remember, we had a little twist in there. So we've got to get rid of that. So it's pretty easy. It's red hot. We're just going to grab it right at the twist. And it takes a little bit of strength, but it's pretty easy really. And you just bend that back. And once you get it to right about there, you can probably fix the rest of that with just a hand hammer. Okay, our steel is hot. Again, come over here, fix that twist that we almost eradicated. Not quite. That's pretty good. So now we'll go over to the other side of the anvil, take a little bit of distance and make sure the other shoulder is facing up. And then we'll start forging in our next set of shoulders. Now we're losing heat fast here, so we gotta work quick. That's pretty good right there. These shoulders will get cleaned up and drawn out a little better as we draw this center blob out and make it a little longer. But for now, that's good enough. Okay, so come over here to the anvil. So I would hit here. I would never hit it like this. Always have one shoulder hanging off one side of the anvil. And that's why the shoulders face opposite directions. One is up and one is down. Whoop, little mishit, little mishit. So I'd say we're cold. Okay, we're gonna work fast here. Drawing out that little section. Trying to do it as fast as we can because as it gets thinner, we will lose heat very, very, very fast. Okay? So make sure you alternate sides, keep the work even. And of course, as this gets longer and longer, it will get colder and faster, but it will also be easier to hit because you won't have to worry about marring and dinging up your shoulders. This will be further away from your hammer blows. So I think we just had to get this bit here a little thinner, and then we were going to flatten out the actual head of the leaf, and we're very close to that stage here. Yeah, okay, that's what we'll do next. We'll get this hot and flatten out the head. So we'll take it over, put the thin side on the bottom, and just hit that edge. And you can do some blows on the side, either side, and that will give it a nice texture, but that's looking pretty good. From my experience, thinner generally the better with the leaf. That's pretty good. Yeah. Okay, so one tool I didn't mention. Partially that's because you don't actually need this to make a leaf. You could use a chisel, screwdriver, anything. But this is called a ball fuller. As you can see, it's a square, but the end is very rounded off. And that will allow me to put a nice texture in the leaf. So this is what we're going to use. And I'll show you exactly how I do that here. We're going to need our hammer, and you want to have a good surface to strike. This is just made out of a railroad spike. You could use any round piece of steel. It doesn't need to be hardened because you're just hitting hot steel. You're not going to warm on it. So you can take our steel out of the fire, clamp it real fast. You want to be very fast about this all because you can see I'm not being fast. It will cool down quickly since it's so thin. So get it flat on there, and then we'll just start going down the center of the leaf. And you can go back, redo any of those hits if you want to. Try and stay centered as much as possible. Okay, so that's our center line done. I'll start on one of the side lines here. It's not going to do much since it's so cold. Let me move this other little piece of steel here out of the way. And I think that's cool enough. We'll go back in the forge now. Okay. Continue making those lines out. And when you're using your fuller, go ahead and rock it. So come in at an angle and then make it more flat so you're going like that way. And that will just make everything look a whole lot cleaner and nicer. Now you can, and I would actually do this at a black heat, and as you can see that's where the steel is now. It's just got kind of that nice little black color to it. And it's still softer than cold so we can forge it even though it doesn't look like it's red hot. And as you can see, I'm doing this, I'm only going to do 3 veins on each side of the leaf, and it just gives it a really nice kind of texture and look to it. And one thing you will see is this is a really rough place to get scale. Scale is hard to get out of here, so I try to not worry about that too much. Go back through the center, by the way, and remake the center line because it gets pretty dinged up. And that's about it. So that's it for the face of the leaf. Okay, so now I'm going to start turning the edges of the stem, into an oxazone. Now that we've got the face of the leaf forged. I think leaf stems look quite a bit better when they've got a nice texture to them, but definitely keep it from being square. And another place of importance is up by the shoulders. You really want to make sure that's thin so it'll snap off easy when it comes time. Okay, and that's right about too cold, I think, so we'll put that back. Okay, now, this is where one of your pairs of pliers comes in. So, actually, maybe even 2. Just grab yourself some pliers and take your piece out of the forge, set it down on your anvil block, and then, whoop, there we go. We're just going to grab it and bend it down. Make sure your pliers are clean, otherwise they'll leave residue on the surface of the leaf, and it looks and feels pretty nasty. So try to avoid that if all possible. The piece of wood that you have it on may catch fire. It's not the end of the world. It's your anvil block. That's okay. And then we'll start to bend this sucker around. Normally I would have cut this off by now, but because it's going to crack pretty easily, I'm not worried about it because I think it will come off pretty easy. Make sure you keep that fire out. Okay, we're back in the forge for maybe a minute. It's hot now. Okay. Alright. So set this on the anvil block. And you can see all the oxides and things that are forming on the face or on the surface of this metal. That's okay. That will all come off later. Don't worry about that just yet. And we'll continue bending this around. And at this point, you don't have to do it this way. You can do it by cutting it off just fine. You don't have to have a whole it's not required for this project, but I'm just going to use it to round this out and make sure it's pretty good. If you're a blacksmith and watching, you've probably realized by now I'm not very good with the use of the mortar and anvil, but we'll get the job done. Okay, we're going to take it, put it on that crack because I want it to be a clean cut, and we'll just give it a good hit 2 or 3 times there, and it's off. That didn't fly at all. I got lucky there. And then we'll take our hot piece of steel, and just because it's hot, and we know it is now, we'll put it in the quench. This quench is water. And you really shouldn't quench anything, especially if it's hardened steel and water, because it will cause the steel to be brittle, and it will crack. So, and you don't want that happening. So, use oil. You can use just about any form of oil that will accomplish the task. I use just cheap canola oil that I found in the store, so it really doesn't have to be fancy. I'm going to open up the forge now. Alright, so I'm going to take this out of the forge. Now, one thing you might notice, it's not hot all over. The hottest part is just the tip here, and that's solely because it's exposed to the fire. It doesn't have to be that hot. If you're just going to bend the metal, it can actually be fairly close, surprisingly close. So I'm going to try and take this out of here. This is where I really wish I had a fair time. This could be a bit of a nightmare to obtain. That was fun. Now it's just a balancing act, and I got it. So we'll grab this and make a loop. I really wish that end wasn't as jagged as it was, but we'll clean that up with a hand file in a second. Now this loop is smaller than almost any leaf I've made in the past, but that is a-okay because this piece is very thick and it won't crack and break as easily, which is a nice thing. So looks like I might have to take at least one more heat to get this all the way around. Yeah, and then we'll close it up. But it's okay because now we have a loop here and it's very easy to hang on to. Obviously that doesn't quench it all the way when I do that, but it makes it so if I step on it or something, I would get burnt. Not as bad. Okay, so we've got that gap almost all the way closed. And we'll close it by taking it with these pliers, grabbing it so it's all the way shut. And then since this is the piece that we care about, quench it in oil that I can use ammo cans, if I can open it here. And this will shut it all together. This isn't very hot, so it's not going to. Now stick it in the water. And that's a leaf. Really, you should be really happy and proud that you've made this leaf. But if you make it again, obviously you want to do better next time. So we'll turn off the forge, get some peace and quiet, and set it on the anvil so we can look at it. Now, when I look at this leaf, a few of the problems I see, it's not centered perfectly, and this part's really jagged. So we could have fixed that by keeping our shoulders more even. And when we bent it, had been more careful to keep this straight. The other thing is this edge is super jagged, like I already said. We could have fixed that with a file, but just for time's sake, we kept it like this. The thing I do like is how small this is. It makes it so that your pocket isn't really full of garbage, and this will hang really nicely on a carabiner or a keychain, and I think that's a great leaf. So these make great gifts. They're fun to have around. Tell people you're a blacksmith or you're a beginning blacksmith or whatever, and they're a great little project. So thanks for watching. I hope you learned something, and if not, I hope you were entertained. And I really hope that if you thought this was cool, that you go try it. Everybody says blacksmithing is this really expensive hobby that's hard to get into. I promise you it's not. If you look around, you'll find that you can make your own forge and use other things for anvils and hammers and whatnot. And you will, and you can, and if you want to, you will be making awesome projects like this. So, like I said, I hope you enjoyed. Everybody stay safe while we're in quarantine. I know these are kind of tough times, but this is a great project to do while we're stuck here. And, yeah, goodbye.